KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM. Mark Westwood on the radio with you. This is the Don Williamson Taxsaver and More radio show with our esteemed Donald Williamson, former but still a champion of taxpayers, and former County assessor. There we go.
And also time with the BOE.
And time with the Board of Equalization as well. And Donald Williamson is our advocate for saving taxes and various different things and helping people out. He's involved with a lot of the community. So today we will be also speaking with the Kiwanis people and Rex Gutierrez, who's the Lieutenant Governor of the Cal Neva Division of the Kiwanis.
What did you say my last name was? Ramsey.
What did I say, Rex Gutierrez?
Gutierrez.
Oops, wrong Rex. Yeah, I don't want to say that. I'm sorry.
I didn't
Rex
catch
Ramsey.
that.
I didn't catch that either. I'm sorry.
I'm going to go find Gutierrez for you.
Oh, no. He's anyway, I apologize. I apologize for that. But I still had your title and everything right, Rex. And
90%.
90%. That's the way it's starting off. I am 90% this week. I am what I get paid. Anyway, and then we have Donald Williamson, who I almost forgot what he was doing. I was like, tax assessment? Wasn't coming to my mind. I'm foggy today. I don't know. I'm in foggy time.
12 years, 3 full terms, 4-year terms as county assessor, representing San Bernardino County.
That's right. And also we're going to have CASA on here, which stands for Court-Appointed Child Advocate. It's actually S, but CASA stands for Home, which is great. It's Voices for Children. Jessica Munoz will be calling in. Will be great. Or Evie muxing in, as we say around here. We're looking for that and ready for her. And that's a great organization as well. Very, very, very important. As I was speaking with Rex Ramsey before the show.
I just changed my name to Gutierrez.
I'm going to get fined in Kiwanis for that. I know it. Jim's going to be like, you got the name of the Lieutenant Governor wrong. All right. Anyway, hello, Don.
Hello, and hello to all you listeners out there at Radio Land.
I haven't quite recovered coming back from Las Vegas. So
that's what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So a little baked in the sun. 109 degrees this weekend there with a 35-mile-an-hour wind warming chill. Not wind. I don't even know. They have a wind chill factor in Midwest when wind blows and it's cold. But in Las Vegas, when the wind blows and it's hot already, it just gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And it's like so dry in I had to come back and hydrate and moisturize and everything else.
Spray on sunscreen because you were swimming in the pool.
Yeah, that's right. Vegas is a nice place to visit. I don't think I'd ever want to live there.
There's nothing like seeing that temperature gauge when you see Baker.
Uh-huh. Bring your microphone a little closer, Rex, if you don't mind.
Okay.
When you see Baker, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's midway between, well, not quite. It's a little bit like 2/3 to Las Vegas.
That's right.
But, yeah, it was a nice trip, a very nice trip. And thank you to Donald Williamson for supplying the accommodations for me. Timeshare condominium over there, very, very nice.
I tried to get a 2-bedroom. They didn't have one.
Hey,
so I took.
We made a 3-bedroom out of it.
So I had a 1-bedroom presidential, and I kept with an automatic upgrade.
And your microphone closer too, please. Talk into the microphone. That's
better get me to closer to it then because it's already on again.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, so I wound up getting 2 more in the Margaritaville and the floor and 2 1-bedrooms to put side by side that gave me my 2-bedroom. And then I had the other one extra. So hey, I'm glad you were able to go.
Anytime you want to supply that, that was great. It was a wonderful condominium at the Wyndham Blue. And I'm going to give them a little plug because the service was great. They were great. That place was immaculately clean. They provided refrigerator, dishwasher, washing machine, and dryer. Go visit it. It's well worth it. It's a great value and a nice pool, too, and nice combination of services. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to Donald Williamson for that. And as we move on now, and we're waiting for our guests, and before we start with Rex, we usually do the 5 minutes of facts about tax saving.
Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit about Prop 13 that most
take
people...
Take your microphone and put it like right to your
Prop
face.
13...
You can move the microphone, you know.
It's about to fall off the edge.
Well, no, do it like this. Lean over a little bit, like I'm doing. See? You get up to it and talk. There you go.
There we go. Oh, yeah.
Now that beautiful deep voice comes in there.
Anyway, Proposition 13, you know, it's clear back in 1978 when that was enacted. And people back then, because we rolled the values back, if they had bought after 1975, we rolled it back to 75 because everybody had to have a 75 value to start with. And it's not that way. It's now, it's when every time a person buys a property, they get assessed for the Prop 13 value. It may not seem low to them, but it's lower than what it would have been in the old days, first getting it. And not only that, it has a built-in automatic up to 2% inflation per year once that value is established. So even if the property values shoot up 10% in that year, they're held to a 2% increase. So they actually get a big savings but don't even know it. Plus they can get their homeowner's exemption on their property on top of that too. And and it's bare land, commercial, your residence, multi-residential, bare land, whatever. They all fall under it to start with. There are certain ones like railroads and so forth that actually and the utilities come under the BOE. And I'm one of the unique individuals that have experience to work for and on behalf of the BOE while I was working for the assessor, because they got into hard times where they had to cut back, and they used to always send our instructors down to teach their classes. Well, they didn't have the money to keep doing that. So they chose certain ones. I was one of the lucky ones. And I actually, a number of years, I actually taught classes for and on behalf of the BOE. So I have experience as an instructor teaching their classes. Now, what the BOE does, Board of Equalization, they take the laws, state laws, out of the Revenue and Taxation Code, and they give letters, LTAs, letter to assessors, interpreting the law for the assessors. Well, 95% of the time, there's no problem. The assessor agrees with it. But I did learn while I was the assessor, and twice I challenged him. Said, nope, you're wrong. And I saved on aircraft up in the Victorville area. That's Apple Valley area, Victorville, and so on, that area, high desert. Also over at Ontario, because they had aircraft. They have to tear them down, those big jets, the engines down every year, and redo them to certify them again. And the law says if they're under contract to be serviced, or if they're currently being serviced, they're exempt from taxation. So if they're just parked there, then they're assessable, if that's not the case. And I had to go, I was called up on an emergency basis and asked me if I could rush down there the next day. And my secretary grabbed me an airplane fare, and I went down there, and they met me at the door and said, Don, we're going to lose 5-0. Well, I was last to appear before him. I just listened. And then when I got my time, I said, now wait, you're all wrong. The law says if they're here being serviced, they're exempt. If they're under contract to be, and they're parked there, but they're under contract to be worked on, they're exempt. Only the ones that are just parked there are assessable. And I said, that's what we're doing it. We're following the law. And they looked at each other and said, well, in that case, the assessor's doing it right. So they turned it down. We won 5-0.
There you go. That's a big victory.
And saved. That would have devastated, particularly the Victorville area, all that area, because they depended on their economy. That losing that many jobs, not only just the mechanics, but also the vendors and so forth that sold the materials and the equipment and all the parts.
Lose all that, yeah.
And then those people, because they're working, they're buying stuff.
Well, that shows you are a great warrior and helped for taxpayers and scoring victories and saving money and helping out, and it's a great community service. Donald Williamson, Taxsaver and more. We do have our guest on the line now, and so we'll go to that. Maybe we'll wrap around again at the end of the show and talk a little bit more about saving money. But right now, it's my special privilege and honor to recognize and welcome to the radio show Jessica Munoz. Hello, Jessica.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Great. And Jessica, welcome. And you are from a group called CASA. Now, CASA stands for Court Appointed, and I couldn't remember the S, and I looked it up, and it says special. And I think that's what you are, and what you guys do is special. Court Appointed Special Advocate, correct?
That's right. I'm with Voices for Children, and we are the Court Appointed Special Advocate, or CASA program, serving Riverside County.
And it's a nonprofit, correct?
That's right, yes.
And you're serving Riverside County, but there's also a Casa Ramona. Is that still in existence? Or
So there is another CASA program in San Bernardino.
Oh, okay.
We serve all of Riverside County and actually all of San Diego County, too.
Wow. So, yeah, you've got a big area, San Maria, Riverside, and San Diego. That's a big area. Or Riverside, San Diego is what you're serving. So
That's right.
All right. And Voices for Children is a nonprofit, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Jessica, tell us a little bit about your board and who you are and what you do. First of all, you're volunteers, correct?
That's right. So the majority of our program are volunteers. We do have a staff that supports them. Our volunteers are matched one-on-one with children in foster care to get to know them, to support them, and to advocate for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's great, and you know it's so important. And CASA in particular, you're a court-appointed special advocate. This is about children who find themselves in a precarious situation. A lot of times, sometimes homeless, sometimes, in the middle of a war between divorcing families, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the court has to step in for the betterment and the welfare of the child. And this is where you guys
So
come
there
in.
certainly can sometimes be conflict between parents, but CASA volunteers serve children in the juvenile court. So CASA serve children who come to the attention of the court because there is a concern about their safety, typically abuse or neglect. And in some of those cases, when there's concerns about a child being safe at home, a judge steps in to oversee everything that happens next with the child and the family. And in some cases, in order to keep children safe and provide parents resources and assistance in the meantime, the child might even have to live away from their family in foster care for a while. And it's those children in particular that CASA's court-appointed special advocates are assigned by the judge to serve.
Mm-hmm. And are you funded by the courts as well, or do you take in donations from people, or what is your primary source of funding?
That's a really great question. While it's our pleasure to serve the courts, we are not funded by the court system. And so as a nonprofit, we raise every dollar needed to train and then provide really excellent support for the volunteers who serve our community in this way. We do receive some government grants that are competitive, but the majority of our funding comes from private philanthropy, individual people, corporations, and foundations who care a lot about kids and want to make sure that they have this really important advocacy.
That is, this does my heart good to hear that. And by the way, I noticed you said the word competitive grants, which means you have to compete with a whole lot of other organizations for that money to possibly get that grant.
That's right. So we apply for those grants, and then our application is considered along with many other really important and worthy causes in our community.
Mm-hmm. So now the court appoints a child to your services, so to speak. And so what happens with that child now? Do you house them, clothe them? I mean, what does CASA do? What is the services they provide?
So the children don't live with our volunteers. The volunteer, from the child's perspective, is really a caring, consistent adult in their life, someone outside the home that's there to be a resource and a support and a source of comfort for that young person as they navigate what can sometimes be a really scary time in their life. And then through that really special relationship that the volunteer develops over time by serving that young person, they often are someone who has very helpful, very insightful perspectives about that child's needs. And so volunteers get to write a report for the judge who's making decisions about the family, and also provide updates to the social worker in real time, so that when the volunteers working with the child have information that can be helpful for that child's care, they can make sure that the people who need it get that information.
Wow, that's a lot of watching and looking out for and everything else. Young children need a lot of services and a lot of care and a lot of oversight. That's for sure. And what is the general age that you have? Do you have them as young as a baby, or as old as 17, 18 years old? What's your age range?
We do. So we serve birth to 21. Most of the children who are referred to us are school age, but depending on their needs, we've served children as young as 24 hours old, all the way through their 21st birthday. In California, we have a program that allows children to remain in foster care after their 18th birthday until they're 21, if they're working or going to school, so that they can continue to receive that support and resources to be as successful as possible when they transition to independent living. And so we do have CASA volunteers who are helping some young adults make that transition. I
know I work with some people with the Transitional Assistance Youth Program in San Bernardino, and I know that there's these children that thank God that maybe it's a blessing that you're around, because a lot of times when they turn 18, sometimes they're just turned out on the street, and there they are, and it's a tough world out there. It's rent is high, living is high, and all that sort of stuff, and car payments, insurance. It's a tough world for young people. So, and I'm glad that we have CASA around for that. And so
it really is. CASAs do a great job helping young people understand all of those bits and pieces that is really necessary in order to live comfortably and independently as an adult in our community.
Yeah, and so you get into various different relationships with these children. It's like I like uncles or something like that, aunts or something, so to speak.
In some ways, children have described their relationship with their CASA volunteer in lots of different ways. Sometimes our children that we serve tell us that the CASA does feel like an extended family member. Sometimes they describe them as a really important friend or mentor. I think what you have really noticed, though, is what we notice in the work that we do every day, which is that relationship piece is really important. And for the child to know that there's a caring, consistent adult who is really there to walk alongside them, regardless of what might transpire in their life.
Well, for our listeners that have just joined us, we're speaking with Jessica Munoz from CASA, from Riverside and San Diego counties, Voices for Children. And Jessica is telling us all about CASA and what Voices for Children do. And Jessica, if you've been hearing this and you're driving down the road or you're at home or wherever you are and you're hearing this and you're touched by this, how can you help? How can you help? Is there a place people can log on to, or how do we contact you?
Certainly. If someone is listening to this and is inspired to learn more, we would love for them to visit our website, speakupnow.org, speakupnow.org. From there will be additional information about our mission, how we serve kids, how someone can explore becoming a volunteer, or maybe even making a donation. Speakupnow.org,
.org. And there's a way to do that. Do you have any events coming up that people can attend to as a fundraiser?
So we have some important information sessions coming up, and we hold those every month. Information sessions are an event that is virtual, and that's a really great opportunity to learn more about our CASA program. Like I said, we have those every month, and so somebody who might like to attend and learn more can hop on our website, speakupnow.org, to find a time that fits their schedule.
Speakupnow.org, just the way it sounds, speakupnow.org. And, really, you guys probably need mentors for mentors. Because do you refer to your volunteers as mentors, or what is the title of a volunteer with Voices for Children?
So we describe our volunteers as advocates, because that's really what they do. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. And in many cases, especially with our school-age children, a mentoring relationship does blossom as a result of that advocacy, and that's really special to see.
Yeah, and CASA means home, of course. And they got the one word in that title right, special. It's a very special thing for people to volunteer, to pay it forward, to give their blessings to other people who are maybe a little less fortunate. And people like Jessica Munoz and people, other volunteers, just an outstanding job, and we thank you for that and all that work that you do. And speakupnow.org is the way you get in contact with them, speakupnow.org. And Jessica, is there anything else you would like to add before our break?
Well, in addition to our need for volunteers, I never want to miss a chance to say thank you to the volunteers that we do have, because they're really doing amazing work and an amazing service in our community.
Now's your chance. And you want to call somebody out individually? You want to mention a name? Go ahead.
Oh, we are so fortunate to have almost 400 volunteers in Riverside County alone. So if any of them
We better
are
start
listening,
right now. Just kidding. Okay.
If any of them are listening, I just want to make sure that we let them know how appreciated they are.
Well, Jessica, there is a podcast of this, and it's on Spreaker, it's on iTunes, it's on TuneIn. It's a video cast if you happen to be with us on video, but you're not. And we do have an app on KCAA as well. And if you go to kcaaradio.com, there's a podcast of this show, so you will be able to download this program and send it on and get a URL and post it to your websites or in emails or whatever. So Jessica Munoz from CASA, which stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. And very special having you with you today. And we thank you for stopping in and talking with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Before she leaves,
okay.
continue to listen to this, because Rex Ramsey, my speaker for today, we're with Kiwanis, and Kiwanis has not only from the clubs and individuals, but they also have the district that's got money sitting out there in the foundation that could turn out, if you got some program that you really need to get more money to get it going, you could apply through Rex Ramsey here, could tell you how to do it. And he's past trustee, past lieutenant governor, and just about everything with lots of years. And he can tell you how to apply for some of that money, and they got money in the thousands of dollars.
Definitely.
Well,
Oh, that's wonderful information. Thank you very much.
Rex Ramsey. Don't forget that name. It's not Rex Gutierrez. It's Rex Ramsey. And you can contact us here at KCAA or contact Donald Williamson, too. And we'll get you in contact. That's the way it works around here, and that's why we're here. KCAA is community radio, and we are very proud of that. Thank you, Jessica Munoz from Casa Riverside and San Diego County, for being on the Donald Williamson Show. And we'll be back right after this on KCAA, 1050 AM and 106.5 FM with Rex Ramsey.
Thank you.
NBC News on KCAA Loma Linda, sponsored by Teamsters Local 1932, protecting the future of working families. Teamsters1932.org.
Community matters. As the weather warms up and school is out for the summer, swimming is often a way to cool down and have fun. But keep in mind safety first when children and bodies of water come together. Whether it's at the beach, lake, swim center, or in the backyard, being safe and cautious is always important. Drowning is the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4, and the second leading cause of unintentional injury death for children ages 5 to 14, according to the Center for Disease Control. The CDC estimates there are 11 drowning deaths each day in the United States. In San Bernardino County, from 2020 to 2023, there were 47 drowning deaths. Last year, 7 people, 3 of them children, drowned in the county, according to Safe Kids Inland Empire. Education is really what's going to make the big change, and it needs to start early. Swim lessons as young as 6 months old, CPR and first aid classes can save lives. Drownings often happen quickly and quietly. So far this year, there have been 9 reports of near drownings involving children in Riverside County. In those cases, First 5 Riverside reaches out to connect families with swimming lessons. The majority of near drownings involving young kids occur in backyards and pools during non-swim time when adults aren't watching. Water safety experts emphasize the importance of having a significant sober supervisor keeping an eye on everyone in the water. and access to and proper use of life jackets in open bodies of water and on boats. For a day at the pool, beach, or other bodies of water, it's recommended parents get their children bright-colored swimsuits so that they're easier to find in the water. Families can get free swimming lessons in Riverside County pools if they have exposure or access to an open body of water, especially if they're referred by someone at First Five or another county department. In 2023, in Riverside County, of the 31 people who drowned to death, 24 were adults. We want to have fun out there with California's warm weather and beautiful waters, but we have to remember safety first. To learn more about safety or swim lessons, check your city's or your county's website. For Community Matters, I'm Lillian Vasquez.
For over a century, AM radio has evolved to meet the needs of our community. More than 80 million listeners depend on AM radio each month. It's also the backbone of the emergency alert system, keeping us safe in dangerous times. A new bill in Congress would ensure this free, reliable service remains in cars. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM radio for every vehicle act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Miss your favorite show? Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
KCAA.
KCAA 1050 AM 106.5 FM, the stations that leave no listener behind. I always wait to that first few measures because, you know, lately I don't know what's happening, but like the control engineer, Eric, waits until I start talking to hit the button, and so it's the first few words I say are not coming in. He's looking at me laughing because I'm looking him straight in the eye.
We got our signals mixed the past couple of episodes.
And I'm like, nobody can hear me talking. So I waited, and I did this 2 times now. And he knows what I was doing. Eric Osorio, our esteemed great engineer, by the way. So grateful for Eric Osorio. This is Mark Westwood, along with Donald Williamson, Taxsaver, and more. Hello, Don.
Hi there again.
And now we have a room full of Kiwanians, including myself, I'm proud to say.
That's correct.
And we're going to talk about Kiwanis. And in particular, we have a District 4 trustee, former Lieutenant Governor of Division 36, Rex Ramsey. Rex Ramsey.
Rex B.
Rex B. Yeah. I was just by a little bit, but welcome, Rex.
Thank you. It's good to be here with you and Don, and I love this opportunity to talk about an organization that I love so much.
Right, and I'm going to ask some questions I already know the answer to, and I'm sure Don will too. But we want our listeners to learn about Kiwanis, which is a service club, and it's Kiwanis Service Club International. Kiwanis International, which is global.
Yes, it is. We're a global volunteer organization where we have clubs in over 80 countries.
Wow.
Over 500,000 members, including, I think, 250,000 Key Club members, which is a sponsored youth program that is in high schools, in which we have many of them right here in the Inland Empire.
I proudly was a Key Clubber, and on campus at my San Bernardino High School back in the day, Key Club had just dwindled down to a couple, 2-3 people. It wasn't a very popular club, and it was about to, be going away. And my teacher, he said, well, it's going to go away unless some people step up. And he was talking to the high school civics class, and he says, I'll give you extra points, anybody who wants to save this club. And I said, extra points? I could use some extra points. I always wanted to go for that A, right? So I did. I said, what's Kiwanis? He says, Mark, I'm glad you asked. And he took me to a Kiwanis luncheon at the National Orange Show, and I got hooked from that point on. And I took my club with 2 or 3 people up to 75 people.
That's amazing.
I was a DJ.
Well, believe it or not, at Pacific High School, in which I'm an alumnus, we had a little radio station over there, and we had Key Club.
No, I was DJing on the 1s and 2s and playing music, But that got me into radio a little later on. That's true. That's true.
Well, you mentioned Key Club, and I'm a member of the Kiwanis Club.
So I was throwing parties is what I was doing, but yeah.
Okay.
That's how I got it popular, but yeah.
That's a good way to get popular. But the Kiwanis Club of San Bernardino, which I'm a member of, and I joined back in 1996, we sponsor Key Clubs at Indian Springs High School in San Bernardino as well as Middle College. I'm the Key Club advisor for Indian Springs. And let me tell you, I've been doing that. This is coming up on my 3rd year. And I love working with the students over at Indian Springs High School. And so one of the purposes of Kiwanis is to change the world by going into communities and helping children advance their education, teach them community service. And we actually build leaders. We train them to be leaders. And the students over at Indian Springs High School are truly amazing. There's about 30 members in that club. They're just coming back on campus, and they do some wonderful community service. They buddy up with younger students to tutor them. They do campus cleanup programs. They deliver notes to people in convalescent homes. And so it's a real pleasure working with them because these kids are hungry to do service, and it's part of their mandate in school, especially if they want to go to college, to show what kind of community service interests they have. So Don's
didn't
Club.
have that when I was in there. You just did it here, the good merits. You didn't get any. I got extra credit for my high school civics class, but that was probably a rare thing. But we started a calendar. It was a couples calendar. So all these boyfriends and girlfriends. I was a yearbook photographer, and I would take pictures of them. We had a calendar. Trouble was that they'd break up. So then we said we won't do that again. But next year,
Well, that was a different kind of key.
well, it wasn't anything bad. It was just, they're posing together, and they were, and they would sell calendars because of it. Because hey, I'm, we're the December couple, and and they would sell 20, 30 calendars to their friends, and we had good coffers we went from almost obliteration to a good treasury, and we had a lot of members, and it went on for a few years after that. I don't know the status of San Bernardino High School now, but
Well, San Bernardino High School had a Key Club for a number of years, and the challenge today is to have faculty members step up to be faculty advisors. They used to be compensated for it by the school districts, and their budgets have restricted that. So now teachers do it on a volunteer basis. And what has to happen is a Kiwanis Club will sponsor a Key Club, and then there has to be the campus advisor. There will be an advisor from the club, and they help charter. If they need a charter, we get them set up. And they actually are a full-fledged organization, part of the Kiwanis International family. And the cool thing today is any student that joins Key Club can transition into Kiwanis as an adult member when they leave high school. And the first 2 years of their membership is covered by Kiwanis International.
I know. I just cashed in on that recently. I just cashed
How
in
did you
on
put?
That's the guy sitting to your left over here, Donald
Join our
Williamson.
club, get 2 free years.
That's because he was a Key Club member.
That's right. I walked in, but we had a great time. It was a very enjoyable thing. It's a good experience. Students, if you're listening out there, do it. Become involved. Get active. When I was growing up, and I remember my dad and his people and compadres and everything else, they were proud that they were able to help other people. And it was part of that's how much money you have in your bank account or the big car you drove, but that you were so successful in life and with your family, and then the next thing was to help other people. And a service club. And, all these service clubs were brimming with people, and it was competition was high for the leadership and all that. It was a status quo kind of thing. Somehow or other, we lost track of that here in the United States, and we need to get back to that, I think.
Well, that's very true. It's like, believe it or not, and I think
impress me with your service.
The case also with Don's Club, when I joined the Kiwanis Club of San Bernardino, literally there was over 100 members, and we met at the Orange Show. We had all the Congress people, the mayors, the big attorneys, CPAs. It was almost like a huge networking organization. But again, our focus is on serving the children of the world. And so with COVID and a lot of different things that have happened in our society, membership has dwindled. And so, but Kiwanis is not sitting idly watching our organization just go into the sunset. We're actively looking to expand membership. And one of the ways we do this by being on a program like this and telling people who are out there who are community minded, who have children, and we must invest in our children. And the things that we can do for children, they involve things like programs like pediatric trauma prevention. Kiwanis clubs will supply helmets and car seats and swimming, teaching
Great
swimming
services.
lessons, things that prevent children from being injured. Then we have a focus also on literacy. And we have a lot of educators that are coming into Kiwanis because literacy and education is so important. We must invest in our children.
Well, Rex, are you strong enough to serve? You could be a big muscular guy and work out at the gym. You're going to the gym regular. I don't know. You might have a little arsenal at home. You think you're strong that way, or you fight or whatever. But are you strong enough? Really, the strength is: can you serve? Can you help other people? Are
Absolutely.
you strong enough to serve?
And let me just speak to the audience out there. If you're home, let's say you're recently retired, or you have time on your hands, or you're a business person that wants to give back. Kiwanis is the perfect organization to come in and take up the passion of helping children. And the Kiwanis clubs will definitely listen to the things that are important to you. And if you have something, whether it's literacy or whether it's like helping kids with back to school projects and buying clothes or supplies, there's so many things that we can do for our children, then I can tell you that my experience, and I think Don will confirm this also, is some of the most enriching experiences of my life. Just 2 weeks ago, the Boys and Girls Club of Redlands, which serves also San Bernardino, had a back-to-school shopping spree for children. Our Kiwanis Club helped underwrite that. There was a total of $30,000 raised, and I think 200 kids were taken on a Kohl's shopping spree.
Yes,
where,
we had a whole show about that.
and it was so wonderful. I took 2 students through. One was a kid named Joseph, who was 11 years old, who loved math. He had a 3.0 grade point average, and he had something like 6 siblings, 2 of them out of state, 4 below him. Obviously, his family was economically challenged. And it was so neat taking this young man through the store and watching him pick out clothes and the things that he liked, because it's so important when kids go to school that they have all the things that make them, help them go to class and not have the distractions of not having the right clothing and stuff. So their self-esteem is raised. And to see this kid smile and the hug that he gave me, it just warms your heart.
Yeah.
There's nothing like
I
that
can
in
see
the
you
world.
get a little choked up about it, and that does stuff like that is so important. When I was in Key Club, some of the networking I was able to do with some very high up people, I didn't even realize there was a guy named Judge Morris,
Yes.
and we went out as a club and helped plant trees on the burn spots of San Bernardino. We had a fire at that point recently, and we spent 2 or 3 weekends going out, a bunch of us, and planting trees. And I got to know this guy named Judge Morris, who later on was mayor of San Bernardino.
Patrick Morris is a member of the Kiwanis Club of San Bernardino. Matter of fact, I saw him earlier today.
Yeah.
And he's one of, at this time we have a little over 30 members, and these are community dedicated people who are out there. Believe it or not, the Kiwanis Club of San Bernardino has been around since 1922.
That's a long time.
Doing a lot of service.
Over 100
And
years. Yeah.
I tell you, one of the more fantastic things that our club and Don Clubs does is that we underwrite scholarships for the local students.
A lot of the Kiwanis clubs do that.
And 2 years ago, actually going on 3 years now, we had a student that I interviewed over at San Gregorio High School. His name's Jordan Cam. And I said, Jordan Cam, I said, do you have anybody in your family named George and Wanda? He goes, yes, those are my grandparents. Well, believe it or not, Wander Cam taught over at Hillside Elementary School with my mother. He was a valedictorian. Now, we provided a 4-year scholarship to him, and Jordan is going to UC Berkeley. And he's in the first aeronautical engineering class that UC Berkeley has. Believe it or not, this young man is a NASA intern. He's turned out several patents. He has devices that are going up on the Mars mission. This summer, they sent him to Australia and to Italy to speak. And being able to help students like that realize their dream, that's just something that's amazing.
It's amazing.
And
being able to develop young people and the spirit of young people and the spirit of service in young people through Key Club, through the college one was Circle K, I believe.
yes, Circle K is an organization that is one of our sponsored youth programs. And they do similar things insofar as serving the community. And Kiwanis, we're a membership organization. We pay dues, about $250 a year. But through those dues, we invest back into a membership. We train them how to be leaders. We train them how to work with people. We make sure that they're screened so they have the credentials that they can go on campus and work with kids. And so our membership dues allow us to invest in our members, and therefore we can invest in the community. And that's what makes us a really unique organization. I know in my heart that Kiwanis is one of the Kiwanis International Organization, particularly the clubs in California and across the United States, is one of the best things about being an American. Because we put aside politics, we focus on a single purpose, helping kids. And so it doesn't matter what side of the political fence you're on, or if you're apolitical. It doesn't matter what religion you are. We're
this
inclusive.
Isn't about partisan. This is about service. People are not.
We
partisan.
just focus on kids, and the fact that we're also very patriotic. We teach patriotism, and we want our citizens and especially young people to learn about civics and what it's like to be a good citizen and what it's like to be a good leader. And we're building leaders for the future. So I firmly believe that Kiwanis is one of the best things about being an American.
Patriotism is not partisan either. Being an American and being proud of your country is not partisan. And Kiwanis is great about that, too. Don, you've been awful quiet over there. He's just listening.
I would join in with Rex. We are kids and family-oriented. A lot of us, each club does different things. A lot of us may do some of the same things, like he mentioned, scholarships and other things, too. We've done, went back in the days of Mervyn's, and also in Redlands, the coat factory, Burlington. It was called Burlington Coat Factory back then. We took students over there like you did, and they would go shopping.
And
we
through
also
all
have
this.
Santa Claus Inc. at Christmas time, and that's a great program that helps kids.
That's a wonderful program, Santa Claus Inc. This radio station has been a sponsor of it as well. Through it all, you develop friendships and relationships.
You do.
All the fellowship is just a dividend. The lifelong fellowships, people that I would have never met, I have an opportunity to serve and get to know, and they're my best friends in the world. And by going to the district conventions and the international conventions, you just keep meeting more just tremendous people.
It's something you put in your credit pocket, believe it or not. As I've gone through my life, I'm 61 years old now. It's been a while since I've been in a Geek Club. I say that, and even though maybe they weren't in Key Club, maybe they were in an Interact, or maybe they were in another, Leo Club or something like that, the Lions or the Rotary Club. All of us have a respect for each other once we know that we've served in those organizations.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And if you're in Kiwanis, if you're in Rotary or Seroptimist or Optimist or any of those lesser clubs, no, just kidding.
All the service organizations, whether they're the Elks or Rotary, the Lions, they're all
Native
doing
Sons of the Golden West. I have to say that.
Sons of the Golden West, and there are all kinds of different fraternities and sororities that give to the community. There's so much need and so much work that needs to be done, and when we come together, whether you're which one of those organizations you might be a part of, but when you give yourself, one of the real neat dividends is that you're never depressed about your life. You always feel good about yourself.
Yeah, there's something.
And there's something about giving to somebody else that makes you feel good about life.
Absolutely. And, if you're somebody who, you're religious, that's great because God and country and everything is in Kiwanis and all these clubs. But the other thing is not overly, overt about it. So if you don't want to join a big, warehouse church and you don't want to do all that, then you can join one of these service organizations. Kiwanis is a good one. So tell us, I see this thing right here. It says Forward. Tell me what that means.
Forward was the theme for our district governor, Doug Frost, for his term of 2024. And the theme was to take Kiwanis forward. And again, we're in a situation where we're trying to increase membership. And so forward means that we're marching forward, not looking back. And we want to add because we want to do more service. And so every governor that comes in has a theme.
A theme or a motto, yeah.
Exactly. And so that was Doug Frost. And the First Lady, his wife, also has a project. A June Frost project this year was raising money for pediatric cancer. And for people who don't know, Kiwanis has an international foundation called the Children's Fund. And one of the projects that they're known for was the iodine deficiency project that we raised over $20 million and helped eliminate iodine deficiency across the world. And those are some of the things that happen at the international level. In our district, which is called CalNEVA, which is California, Nevada, Hawaii, we also have a children's fund. And we provide scholarships and we provide different grants for disasters and clubs that come up with special projects. And this year, June Frost, through the Children's Fund, was raising money for pediatric cancer patients, which is a wonderful mission because no kid should have to suffer, from the disease of cancer.
So you're a male or you're a female. It doesn't make any difference. It's not like it's just men in this group or businessmen, as we say. No, it's business people. It's about people. And I'm sure you've had female officers as well.
Absolutely. We've had at all levels through the Kiwanis organization. As a matter of fact, next year our international president is Hope Marks, and she's from Jamaica, and she's going to be serving as the international president. A year before last, we had Katrina Barenko from Alabama, and she was an international president. So people need to understand, it's like whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, or whatever community you come from, kids in all of those communities have needs, and you're all welcome in the Kiwanis family. We're very inclusive, and so nothing should hold you back from coming in and joining our organization because we're inclusive. Because the bottom line is that kids need Kiwanis.
Mm-hmm. Kids need families. Kids need Kiwanis.
That's right.
And when you're in Kiwanis, it's a family.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I consider Kiwanis a family, one big family. And, families are very beautiful and unique. And the bottom line is that sometimes we have little squabbles in between as far as what to do and personalities. But because we have objects of Kiwanis, our objects of Kiwanis were developed back, I think, almost 75 years ago at the Denver Convention. And they give us the guidelines. Just an example. Object number 2 is to treat everybody with the golden rule, in which we want to treat everybody the way they want to be treated.
So Don wants to say something, but before we get into that, Don.
That 6 was 6 objects of Kiwanis.
Yes.
6 what?
6 objects of Kiwanis.
Yeah, we have 6 objects that were adopted at the Denver International Convention back 75 years ago.
And those objects are? I'm going to put you on the carpet here.
Oh, gosh.
That's okay. That's all right. But
I can't recite them off the top of my head.
While we're doing that, and let's turn and pivot because we only have 5 or 6 minutes left, actually. And if you've been inspired by this, and I hope you have been, and you're inspired by service, and we have a phone caller, but I think that's for somebody else. If you're inspired by that, and you want to join Kiwanis, how would one do that if you're driving down the road right now? How can we tell them where they can get involved and how they can contact Kiwanis?
Okay, we have an international website, which is all they have to do is do a Google search or type in KiwanisInternational.org. My club is the Kiwanis Club of San Bernardino. We have a Facebook page. Just look up the Kiwanis Club of San Bernardino on Facebook. Don, you want to tell them about it?
Oh, we've got one too. That's
sure.
Rialto as well as Redlands.
Google is the best thing in the world. We could tell you a big long URL,
Yes.
And .com or .org or whatever, and you might remember that. But if you just remember Kiwanis, Kiwins, and just Google it, you're going to find one in your local area because we do cover a big area from Needles all the way down to San Diego, all the way up past Barstow, all the way over to the Pacific Ocean and Long Beach. And so if you're driving one of these areas, I'm sure one of these clubs, and there's plenty of them, would love to have you. Just Google Kiwanis.
Yeah, we have clubs from Yucaipa, Fontana, Rialto, Barstow, Apple Valley, Victorville, Adelanto, Yucaipa. I mentioned Yucaipa. And so San Bernardino has 2 clubs.
Fontana
and then there's clubs in Riverside as well.
I have to say Global Friendship Club. If I don't say that, I might be fined.
I'm also a member of Global Friendship. And so they meet once a month over at the Highland YMCA.
YMCA, yeah. And we always have food, or we meet someplace beforehand, a lot of us.
We just met at the new Corky's over in Highland.
Yeah.
But if you just go to the Kiwanis Club Facebook page, I'm a contact there. I'd be more than glad to direct you to the Kiwanis Club in your area. And my club meets every first and third Tuesday at noon over at the Claim Jumpers restaurant in San Bernardino on Hospitality.
Oh, they're at the Claim Jumpers now. That's a good restaurant.
Yes, we have good food and fellowship and programs.
First and third?
First and third Tuesday of the month at noon.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and so come and be our guest.
Oh, that'd be fun. And Don, the Global Friendship Meet comes Wednesday, right in the middle,
We just met last night.
Just met last night. And then when does Rialto meet?
Rialto meets our regular meeting days at Sammy's at 6 o'clock in the evening. That's in Rialto.
So we've been talking with Rex Ramsey from a district trustee, District 4 from the Kiwanis Cal-Nevha district of this area in California, Nevada, and Hawaii, along with Donald Williamson, who was wearing his Kiwanis shirt. But I said that was a Kiwanis shirt, but it's not.
Well, actually, I think it might have came from Hawaii.
We have
See,
Hawaiian themes.
I went to Kiwanis twice, both times with Kiwanis. And one of them was on Waikiki or Oahu. The other was Kona, which we just had.
Well, thank you, Rex, for being here. Donald, I'm going to give you the last words before I wrap it up. Go.
Well, you need to find a club if you have children, you're worried about them, getting in the right hands, not the wrong hands. Kiwanis clubs are the way to go, and Key Club if they're in school. I went to Fontana High School.
It's a way to win.
They had the ways back. They wore jackets that said Key Club. Do you know, Rex? No, I always wanted to have one of them jackets. Nobody ever told me anything about it. And they go all the way back to the years when I was young.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Kiwanis International.
Remember, it's Kiwanis, not Qantas.
I always say Kiwanis, but yeah. Maybe
Some people say
like Kiwanis.
it sounds like Qantas.
No koala bears.
You guys have the
or
koala bears right now. And actually, Kiwanis comes from the term Nuk Kiwanis, an Indian term which stands for we build.
Well, we did have a mascot at one of our division meetings. She was kind of nutty, but what was she dressed up as? I don't remember.
The toucan.
The toucan.
Toucan.
The toucan.
Toucan do it.
Toucan do it. That's right. Kiwanis International. Kiwanis International. Kiwanis International.
Kiwanis International. Hail,
hail, hail. All right. Boy, we sounded pretty good there, guys.
Hey, a little
Some
harmony.
good harmony going on here. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you, guys, for being here. I'm Mark Westwood, the pro-announcer on the Donald Williamson Taxsaver and Payer More and Show. Thank you, Donald.
And if Rotary wants to come on, Lions, Seroptimus, Toastmasters, we'll give them equal billing.
We will. Yeah, we will. All right. Thanks. And thank you to Eric in the engineering studio. I'm Mark Westwood, Donald Williamson, and we'll be back next Thursday at 3 p.m. right here on KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, KCAAradio.com, on the internet and smartphones. Just type in KCAA into your smartphone app, and you'll find us, download it, and listen to us anywhere and everywhere from Paris, France to Paris, California. All right. KCAA 1050 AM, take it away.